Hello, it's your girl Germaine back with another G Spot experience. But today is Authors Brew Day with our special guest in studio. I'm going to get into who the author is just in a second. Give me a second, and I will bring him into the conversation. But I wanted to just make sure everybody's good. Today is Friday, and I am so looking forward to talking to the special guests we have in studio that's going to really dive into his story, Soldier Battling Two Wars. And the special guest we have today is Thomas James Lott Jr. Let me pull him up in studio with us. Hello, Thomas. How are you?
How you doing? I'm doing pretty good this morning.
Good. So thank you so much for chiming in to the G Spot Experience Coffee Break yesterday, because today you are sitting with me in studio so we can talk all about your books. I'm just going to put it up on the screen so y'all can see real quick. All right, let me put up a bigger version of it, okay, on the screen so y'all can see real quick. So we have Thomas, and Thomas this is his second book, part two that we're going to focus on today, but you got to start with part one so you get the gist of what it's all about. But Thomas is a best-selling author. We also have his QR codes there so you can order, and I will make sure we pull this back up while we're in conversation. But Thomas, let's talk about it. So you came to me. Your first book came out a few years ago.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
wow.
2.5 years ago is
Yes,
when I wrote
two
my
and a half
first
years
book.
ago. And it was a bestseller also.
Yes, it
But
was.
you came to me because you won being a soldier. And I thought your title was so interesting. A Soldier Battling Two Wars. And then you broke it down to me. Being a soldier, serving our country, and then also being a husband, a
Yeah,
civilian in that life, and how you were able to blend your real story, your true life experiences into this one book to give it that name, Soldier Battling Two Wars. Let's talk about it a little. Okay. You got your
okay.
coffee. Wait, before we get
Oh,
started, you know what we do. We take a pause and we pour in the purpose, but you got your coffee and I'm stuck with my water today. I'm cleansing. I'm cleansing.
yes,
But let's talk about this. Let's talk about your story, because I know you're still dealing with the effects of your story. Let's
yes, I
talk.
am. Yes, I am.
So let's share with our people. So tell me, give us an idea, or just tell us why that title.
Uh, I chose that title because as a soldier, we're already fighting a war for our country. And then also being married and supporting a family with kids, you're
Mhm.
actually fighting another war. So you have to try to balance both of them out. And it's very hard to do that when the mission of being a soldier practically come first.
So how did you balance? And you
Uh,
served, even before we get into that, 26 years, right, in the military? Another 26 years, how long were you married
I was married the
going into it?
26 years in the military, and then about 3 years after. So
So
about
the
a total of
majority
29.
of your career in military, you had to figure out how to battle these two things, right?
Oh yes, yes I did because I got married. Well, we did at a very young age.
Okay.
So and I went in already with a family. We had our first daughter, and then we had a second one on the way. So I rushed into the fatherhood very quickly, and
Mm,
then also trying to, I say, make ends meet. Also try to
yeah,
provide for my family. Also,
absolutely. So how did you manage? I mean, what were some of the challenges that you've experienced trying to figure
uh,
out a way?
it was very difficult. It's very hard. It's a give and take,
Hmm.
and most of the time it's very hard to explain because the mission comes before anything. The military preach family, we for the family, we for the family. But when the mission calls for you, family is put on the back burner.
Mm,
Because the way the military looks at it, you are an investment. I have invested in you, so your main priority is serving your country.
wow.
And so the balance was very hard, very hard. It's just anytime you have free time or you got days off, you try to spend as much time with your family as possible.
Okay.
Bec- because there is any given moment, any given time where you can get that phone call and say, hey, we need you to come in, regardless of what you're doing or where you at.
Wow.
Yes, you can be on leave. I can be in another state. If I get a call and they say, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, you need to be back here as soon as possible.
Wow. So how was it even with your spouse, knowing that, when people think, let's back up a little, because when people think marriage, it's like finally we're making this happen, we're coming together, we're excited about it, not realizing everything you may encounter that's right in front of you. You were already in the military. So your commitment and loyalty was already to the government, right?
Already.
But you love this person, and so now it's like, how do they, from their standpoint, you probably found more stresses because they had needs, but you're battling in yourself and within your mind. What do I give myself to? Who do I give myself to?
Yes, because you're trying your best not to cause any conflict at home. I mean, you try,
Peace.
but
Yes.
it's very hard due to like I stated earlier, the mission come first, and that is where I think a lot of civilians, because once you
Yes.
join, you're a soldier, so
Mhm.
a lot of civilian spouses doesn't realize the weight that is on your shoulder as a soldier.
Mm.
Uh, I try to tell anyone if you go in the military now, uh, might not be the right answer, but don't go in married. If
Okay.
go in single, so you can get a feel of what's going on, what is expected of you, and what needs to be done. Because once you add a family into that, it's gonna also affect them also, because
Okay.
they're gonna expect you to to be there for them also, and it's hard, and you are there physically, but mentally you might not be there.
Wow. I want to say this because even in the latest book, part two, Soldier Battling Two Wars, you really pull back the curtain on what it means to be a man of faith and navigating through pain behind these closed doors. And for you, and I have to tell, the community, you have to read book one first, and in order to really get an understanding for the journey in book two. And even the way book two was set up, it was set up so anyone that had similar experiences, you put in place these resources to challenge your reader for their own personal situations, and also your profession, the field that you work in right now. Well, let's talk about it. I don't want to give it away. I want you to tell it, because that was a key instrument also in doing book two, and how you structured book two. So let's talk about that and how you are helping others.
Yes, before I retired, I was working with sexual harassment and sexual assault program, and I
Hmm.
did it for about 6 years in the military. So once I retired, I ended up working at this organization that needed someone to build their it's called the case management liaison, but it's the harassment reporting center. So they already implemented and had the call center in place, but they had no one to be able to reach out to the victims and give them resources and services that they needed. So I had to help build that program, and once we built it, it became a success, and we was able to help a lot of blue collar employees that work for the USDA on the Forest
Hmm.
Service side, those that
Okay.
are in the field fighting fires. So they was having a lot of issues going on with bullying, sexual harassment, sexual assault, and in that order. And so I was able to transition the knowledge that I had over to
Hmm.
that organization to help them to build that program.
Okay. And so, and the reason I wanted you to just share that because it gives a solid foundation of, you're in a position because you've gone through some things, and I'm not going to give the book away. People have to read the book to know even the level of trauma that you personally dealt with in your book, um, going through a divorce also
Oh yes.
in the book, and but you also remarried, and so your background is so crucial to what's happening. Your background is so crucial to what's happening in the book because you and it's hard not to give things away, but you are really helping people using your own personal experience to help people actually go through what you've experienced and now being able to help them come through their own situations. So, for a second, I'm just going to go through a few things here about this book. So, this book is not just a memoir that Thomas has written, parts one and part two. Book two, he sets it up as a manual, and it's a healing guide for those who feel trapped in silent battles. It's a wake up call for anyone who's ever lost themselves trying to keep something together, and a blueprint for reclaiming your peace and power, one honest truth at a time. And so in this book, and Thomas, for some reason, he's coming back into studio, but I just want to say his story is so heartbreaking because he's still dealing with a lot of the issues from what he's dealt with in his story, from his previous relationship. But he's gone through, Thomas, I see that you're back. So
Yeah, somehow I lost connection. I was getting a
that's
phone
okay.
call. I was getting a phone call and it just
No, no,
went out.
no problem. That's okay. But you know what I did? I just told them that it's not just a memoir, it's a manual. And your book too. Book one really paints the picture of
Yes.
the battles that you struggled with and what you went through, from harassment to manipulation to divorce to emotional warfare.
Oh
If I
yes.
could just name some of the things, right? But I just wanted them to know that the book wasn't just your memoir, it's also a manual, it's a healing guide, it's a wake up call, and it's a blueprint for people to reclaim their own peace and their own power.
Yes.
And so, what is it that you want people to know about your story?
I just want people to understand that, it's a stigma out there, that men can handle whatever is thrown at them. And I'm not saying that we can't, but there is an overload.
Yes.
I never knew, I never expected that I would be one of those individuals that would be going through that overload. Uh, I was at the point where I didn't want to go home. I was at the point where I was thinking suicidal. Uh, but what I did, I embedded my my time and effort into my kids.
Yeah.
So I sort of blanked out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so in order for me to regain that, I had to seek help. And a lot of people think that you're weak if you go to counseling
A
or
therapist.
yeah, a therapist, or see a psychiatrist. But I found out that it takes more of a man to ask for help than to take his own life. So I was able to reach out and get some help, and they actually helped me get back on track, helped me
Mm.
to refine who I was as a person. Uh, Also, I was able to, it's like, sometimes you want life to end, but
Yes.
I was able to regain the reason why I was put here. And I think the reason is what I'm doing now. It's trying to reach out to others like me, to let them understand that it's not it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It is really okay. And I'm not trying to separate gender, but a lot of men we don't too much want to talk to anyone. And I was a person that internalized everything.
Mm.
I never opened up to anyone about anything that was going on within my home, within my marriage, and I smiled a lot.
Yeah.
I enjoy life to the fullest at my knowledge at that time. But once I was able to regain who I was, because I lost my voice, I lost everything about me. I felt like it was stripped away.
So
Verbal,
when you said that, I lost my voice. It's not just the sound, it's literally your power. I
my power.
lost the power to speak up, speak my beliefs, my truths, my pain, my suffering,
Yes,
and you were
because
silenced.
yeah, because anytime I tried to speak out, I tried.
Mhm.
Uh, I was always the finger was always pointed at me, and I was never heard.
Mm.
Regardless what was said, it didn't count. There was a lot of threats in my marriage. Divorce, 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 divorce. So, in order for me to try to keep the peace, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I did
Yeah.
some things in my marriage that I shouldn't have done.
Mhm.
Uh, but the verbal abuse is real.
Yeah.
It really is real, and it does affect a person. I really didn't think it did, but it really did.
Wow.
And I was broken down to the point where I felt like I was nothing,
Wow.
nothing whatsoever, nothing but a check. That was it.
I wonder how many men out there can definitely relate to your story. And it doesn't have to be one the battlefield of being in military, but just being a civilian, being in your own home, feeling that you're not valued and appreciated, and the one thing I keep hearing that you just said, that you went silent. Men don't talk about their pains because they've been conditioned to not cry or to not share their pains because it will make them look weak, and definitely not go see a therapist
Yes,
that
most
you can
definitely.
really seek out and get the help. But you know what? Believe it or not, I think all Black people, and I hear this from a real close friend of mine, all Black people need therapy because it's the trauma that we've just been
Go
born
through. Yes,
into, you
yes,
know? And so, but I'm so thankful that you have come to a place of taking your power back, getting your voice back, even opening up today to talk about what men don't do that they really need to do, and being able to say, you know what, I needed help, and you went and got it.
yes. Yeah, I had no choice if I wanted to continue to succeed in life and to move on,
Mhm.
at a greater magnitude.
Yeah.
And so like I said, I'm a very internal person when it comes to issues within my home. So I had no one to talk to, even though I had my mom, my siblings, and friends and relatives. I I felt as if no one could help me. So I was able to sit down one day and just put a pen in my hand and begin to write. And that helped me to release everything that I had on the inside. And once I did that, I felt a major, major weight lifted off of my shoulders.
I am so glad you said that because one, it's about trust. Who can I trust to even be able to hold what I am about to share with you, right?
Yes.
And know that you will not weaponize it against me. But I love the fact, because that was my next question. What made you decide to put it in a book? And so when you said that, and I tell people all the time, writing is therapeutic. Even if you may not be the greatest writer, it's
Yes.
okay. It's okay, but to be able to channel your thoughts in a way, write them, read them back to yourself, and relive what you've gone through, you probably really started feeling your healing again, and then being able to face things that you still needed to be healed from, right?
Yes, most definitely. And before I go any further, I would definitely like to thank my wife. She actually stood beside me, even when we was dating. And then once we got engaged, the turmoil just got even worse.
But
Uh,
let's talk about which wife, because I want to make sure you
okay.
give your yes, give it
Okay,
so
yes.
people are clear.
Oh, yes, yes. My second wife, I got remarried after my first divorce. I really wasn't looking to get married.
Mhm.
But uh, I think, yeah, well, I ain't gonna say I think, I know. Uh, she was sent. She was sent from the time I approached her bike. It was like in May of 2021 or something like that. 20, it was
Okay.
one of them years. And she asked me why me, and I said, you know what? I cannot explain it. I said, I'm
Mhm.
telling you, I don't know, but for some reason, it was just, hey, this is the one.
Yeah.
And she stuck beside me. Believe me, she have went through a lot. Believe me, she also has been a victim of verbal abuse from my ex.
Mhm.
Also a victim of, how can I say, social media from my ex,
Bullying?
and
Yeah.
we both are still dealing with that. Uh, it's just it seems like it's a never ending story, but it needs to come to an end, and it should be. You ask me, it never should even be this far. But
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but that she just has my ex-wife just has caused so much turmoil within me and my wife now life, and it just needs, and we're trying our best to handle this the right way, uh,
Absolutely.
going through it legally. So,
Mhm.
but other than that, she's been standing beside me. She's been supporting me. I mean, she's everything that I expected and more.
Oh, wow.
She really is. She is a very, very strong woman. Very self-driven, and
Wow.
and she showed me what love is really about. She really did, because I was lost. I really was. I was a lost person.
You know, you see how much God loves us?
Yes,
It don't matter what we go through, He's going to make sure.
and he'll give you a second chance.
Second chance, and then send you the right one to help
Yes,
build you back up, to help
most
lift your
definitely.
spirits, to help just help life you. And
Yes,
that is so beautiful, and I'm so sorry that you're dealing with that. You just pray that people will find the peace in their life that they need to be able to go on and find their purpose and
yes,
not to waste the only life we're given in a state whereas you're not finding you and why God
yes,
placed you here.
most
And
definitely.
so we hope we hope your ex that she really comes to a place of finding peace within herself to see that even she's been purposed for something in life bigger than you, making your
Yes,
life
most
miserable,
definitely.
you know?
Yes, yes,
And so, but I thank you. I want to is there any final things you want to share? I want to thank you for being so transparent and opening up. And this is what you will find in his book because it takes a lot for someone to become naked before the world and allow them to read all about their pains and traumas and stuff, because people aren't friendly out there. But I am so thankful that you did this for you, because you knew it was about your own salvation. It was about you
Yes.
saving your own life. And you said that it was so helpful that you could release that off of you and then be able to share it and help others.
Yes, yes, yeah, and that's what I just tried. I just try to reach out to others, let them know that it is help out there. It really is. Just don't be afraid to ask for it, uh, or either to talk to someone. Is there someone that you can trust? I mean, there's nothing wrong with is releasing whatever is going on. Ain't nothing wrong with getting it out, because once it manifests, and then you add more on top of that, and then more on top of that, you're gonna find yourself in a state where you can no longer function.
Wow, exactly. Whew. Is there a book three coming? There has to be a
You
book
know
three,
what?
because you have to talk about you
You
have to
know
talk about
what?
the victory in it all.
I don't know yet. It's just, I think for me, it's just when it hits, it hits, and
Yes.
then I begin to write,
Okay. Well, I believe there might be a book three, because the story is still writing itself.
and it is. And I said that at one time. I said it is still going on. How long do I have to continue to
No, he's
to
building you. It's for a bigger
tell my
purpose.
story? Like, when will this story ever end?
There is something greater in all of this.
And it is,
You just on the journey of discovery.
and I am.
But even in that, the relationship between you and your present wife, the bond that's between, I mean, I just hear your passion as you're talking about her strength and who she has been for you, your soulmate, I mean, it's beautiful to have that even in the storm.
Yes.
So we just pray that God just allows peace to pass all understanding and really give you both the peace that you deserve in this season of your life as you continue to journey together and help others. So let's go here. I want to be able to make sure people get a copy of your book,
Okay.
both books. So hold on one second. I also put the website, if they want, they can buy from you, but also if they want to get more information, your social media, let's put that up too. How they can, I want to type that and put that on the screen. How can people, Facebook, you prefer Facebook?
Yeah,
And
well, I have it on all platforms. It's on TikTok. It's on
okay. And what
Instagram.
is it under, just your name, right?
Yeah. Well, on Instagram is my name,
Okay. The
and
whole
on
name, Thomas James. Go
yes,
ahead,
it's
you tell
Thomas.
everybody.
Yeah, it's. I think it's Thomas Lot on TikTok.
Okay.
I mean, on
Okay.
Instagram. On Instagram, and on TikTok, it is my nickname, which is Digem, Digem,
Okay.
Digem
Okay.
dot dot Thial, Thyall.
Okay. And then
And
Facebook.
Facebook is Thomas Lott.
Okay. Lott.
Yes.
All right. And they can also, once again, scan the barcodes. Let me pull up the full picture of both books with both barcodes so they can scan that. Because if you are someone going through, if you know someone going through, now let me see if I can put this on a split screen so we're still, there we go.
Yes.
If you know someone that's going through any type of battles in their lives, this book, even though Thomas is sharing his personal experiences from being a soldier and a civilian, a husband, but it's not just for those individuals that are maybe in the military. It's for anybody that may be dealing with something. And like I
Yes.
said, you really, in book two, you must read book one to really get the backstory to understand even book two. And in book two, really being able to put yourself in his story. He allows you, he challenges the reader, to even your own thoughts, channeling your own thoughts through this book and being able to list those things out. So both barcodes are there for you to get your copy. And And it's available everywhere, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart's. It's available everywhere. But just click the links and it'll make it a whole lot easier for you. All right. So on that note, let me pull this back in. But Thomas, let me just on that note, Thomas, once again, you have been a true champion through this whole process, standing strong, allowing your voice to be heard, definitely being vulnerable to share your story and the pain and the sufferings that you've experienced yourself, and also losing your voice and then finding it again, right?
Yes, yes,
Thank you for share your story. Continue to talk about your story. There are so many people, as you know, out there that's hurting. You deal with it every day at work. So you understand there's so many people that have stories that will probably never share their stories due to whatever reason, but then there's a lot of people that will. But even you sharing how you just putting it to paper, how it helped you
yeah.
start building and taking back your voice. So I just, like I said, the book is out there. It's available. Go support Thomas. Find yourself in his story. And you know what? And if it's not for you, then I know you know somebody else, especially somebody that's been in the service. He talked about that. The challenges, even being in the service. And you know what? Like he said, today, I have to tell you, I tell my son, I don't know about the military. I don't know about this administration. I don't know. I don't know. The thing is, you love your children and you want the best for them. But people have made amazing careers in
Oh
the
yes,
military,
most definitely, most
and
definitely.
thank God for our soldiers that are sacrificing their lives for the sake of us to be able to have a safe place here in the United States. So much prayer. I'm going to say that much prayer for our country,
Most definitely.
much prayer to cover us. But Thomas, any parting words before we close this brew?
Well, I'd like to thank you for having me on this morning, and I hope that I reached out or either touched someone so that they can also try and seek help when needed, and just never give up. Just never give up, and that's what I did. I didn't give up. I wanted to, but I didn't. So just never give up, and
Great.
and and always know that God loves you, and there is some more people, or either friends, relatives, even your spouse. They love you too. They really do. They mean well, but sometimes things just take a left.
That's and you know what? It's important to seek out those that are equipped to really help you when you're in those places.
Yes, most definitely. I
Definitely.
also listed a couple of numbers and a couple
That's
of
right.
addresses that you can reach out to in my book to seek help in
That's
certain
right.
areas.
That's right. Well, Thomas, it's been real. This is another Hope of Vision or HOV Publishing author, Thomas James Lott Jr., with two best-selling books through our publishing company. And it has truly been a blessing for him to be a part of the Hope of Vision family. So
And I
we thank
appreciate it.
you. And go get his books today.
Yes, get the book.
All right, Thomas, have a great one. And you know how we do on the G Spot experience. So all I ask is sip slow, heal deep, and reclaim your peace. That's it. And make sure you go join my YouTube page. It's in the description. We're almost at 10,000 people. Join, join, join. Talk to you
Okay.
guys soon. Have a
All
great one,
right.
Thomas. Thank
All
you
right.
so
You
much.
too. All right.
Bye.
Thanks.